I was born in 1927, February 1, 1927, in a little city called Czelać, and it was on the Polish side of the border. We had movies, and we had a fire department, and we had parks for the kids to play, and a lot of greenery. My father, we played a lot together. We used to go bike riding quite a bit. The problem was that my father always checked if we did the homework on Saturday afternoon. And there was a time when the kids, neighborhood kids, all used to play. And if we didn't do the work the way, it was satisfied to him, he said, no go, you have to stay here and study. And in the meantime, the kids were knocking at the window at the door, come play, we're waiting, we need you. So that was pretty bad for me. Oh, we had a lot of fun in school. We all belonged to the Boy Scouts and did things together. In my city, there was about maybe 7-8% of the population Jewish. So we mingled with other religions, and typically on holidays, state holidays or religious holidays, we would march on the street, saluting and all that kind of stuff. And that was kind of fun because you had to wear special clothes and people would cheer you. It was a combination with other religions. On the one hand, we were good friends. And on the other hand, they would always say, you don't belong here because you're not a Polak, you're a Jew. And we don't want you here. So the question always came up, if I don't belong here, where do I belong? At the beginning, when the Germans came in, they made us wear armbands, a white armband with a blue star. They burned down the synagogue, no schools, no meeting anywhere, and they picked up the kids. So we asked, what do you do with the kids? Where are you taking them? Well, we're resettling them. But we had no idea what it meant. But it didn't sound good. So every time they came in, to pick up kids, we had to hide. So my grandfather asked my parents, why do you keep up with all this? Nothing is happening here where we live. Why didn't you come live with us? So my parents decided they were going to send me and my brother to my grandfather. But there was a border, a German-Polish border. And we had to hire a smuggler. And the smuggler said, I can only take one person at a time. So obviously the most important is my younger brother, because he was younger than me. And so they sent him first, and I was supposed to go second. And a week goes by, and we heard everything was okay. And so they packed my bags to go. And then all of a sudden, we got word that the Germans came and picked up the whole city and took them to a place where they killed them all. It was by this little that I would have been with him just a few days, and I would have been gone with my brother. I lived right on this corner here. First we moved from the main street to a side street, and then from here we had to move to here. And the ghetto wasn't here. We were a family of 5 people. We had 2 rooms. One room was the kitchen and the living room and everything, and then we slept the whole family in another room. But at the same time, I had to work. So at almost 13 years old, I worked for a German that took over a furniture factory from a Jew. And the work started, or I had to leave home at 4 in the morning. Weather conditions are bad. In December, it's like 20, 30 below zero. And there's a lot of snow. And they didn't come back until 5 at night. So it was a long day. There was not much thinking about the Nazi Party because most of the thinking was going on, how am I going to get the next meal? And then after working there, I think for almost a year, we were 6 guys, and the German police came in and picked us up, and sure enough, they selected me to go to work. They took us to the first camp in Markstedt, and right away they took us to unload cement. And it was paper sacks, and they were heavy because the bags were going by 100 kilo. And people couldn't carry it. So they had a table that was cut out, and the lashes were made out of cow's tail stuffed with wire. And I was too little, so they didn't tie me down. And so they started hitting me. And so I was jumping this way, and they keep hitting me, stay still, you know. And it was Jews that were beating me because they got a double portion of food. They beat me up so bad after it was all over, I couldn't walk back to the room. And if you cannot go out to work for 3 days, they resettle you. By that time, we all found out what the Germans do because they kept holding away people, and rumors were flying around, you know, that they're killing people and all that. So I was staying there for 2 days, but on the 3rd day, they picked up my father and they brought him to the same camp I was. And when he heard where I was, he kind of helped me with some food, and I went back to work. It was good. It was very good. We were together. My father was working on one job site, and I was working on another job site. And one day, they brought my father to the camp back dead. And the German authorities there in camp, you know, gave me the option. They said, either we take care of it, you know, my father, or we give you the option that you can bury him. The Germans, they would incinerate him. I wouldn't let it happen to my father, no. I had to bury my father in the field over here. And every time I see those pictures, it makes me cry. In Poland, it gets cold. It goes down to like 30 below zero over here. Everything is frozen. And it sounded like I had a cold, or I didn't know what it was, but I felt real bad. In the morning when I got up, I pretended that I was almost dead, and they had to take me to the hospital. And at the same time, the Germans decided to move all the people that were in the camp further into Germany. So they announced that everybody has to gather in a given space there, and they're going to start marching out. And so I decided I'm not going anywhere. And I saw the layout of the hospital, so I noticed there was a room that was a pile of dead bodies. When they started announcing that everybody should be there by 5 minutes or something, I covered myself with the dead bodies. They came in to check to see if everybody that could walk possibly should go out. And I heard the guy say, you know, those bodies over here, those people, are not going to go anywhere anyway, so let's just go. They left, and I met some other guy, so we talked, you know, what are we going to do now? The SS is gone, so we decided we're going to break the gate and try to get out. And so we did. We broke the gate and started to leave. And when I got home, I was the first Jew to the city. Nobody wanted to acknowledge me. And it was the people that I knew real well because I played with their kids. We were friends. We were in the Boy Scouts, you know, and nobody wanted to know about it. So if I see a Jew, I remember, and I feel like I have to do some help for other people that come after me. You cannot ask for anything better. There was heaven on earth. And I came to the United States on a Navy boat called Bletchford, General Bletchford. And I would be looking from the boat and see the United States and see cars moving, you know, on the shore. And it was the wildest imagination you can think of what it looks like. And when I came to Los Angeles, I arrived in Los Angeles, it was something to see because I was coming down the Pasadena freeway, and it was in the afternoon, and the sun was shining on the mountains there. You know, it was out of this world. And it got to a point where I met my wife, and we married, and we have 2 children. There's all kinds of people. Some people say, if I make money now, I want to spend it now because I don't know if I'm going to live till next year. Maybe there's not going to be a tomorrow. So at least I can live now and have a good time. But other people say, you have to think of tomorrow. Don't have a good time now, save the money, so when you get older, you're going to have money to live on. And this is what I feel is important. You have to do something to make yourself comfortable to live tomorrow. You always think ahead to improve yourself. Living through a period where I had to take care of myself, not to think of others, it is engraved in me.